Hi everyone, it's Monday morning. We're on the M40 on the way down to London again, so it'll be back at Farlows this week. I've been told by the wife that I need to be a little bit more cheery, but who can't be cheery on this Monday, because Honey G got booted out of the X Factor. Thank absolute feck for that, absolute pile of pesh. But that's her got booted out. So yes, this week is going to be a celebration on the bank. Feeling full of life, energized after a good weekend. So we're back down this week till Friday this week. I've got one more week left after that, and then that'll be me, probably. I don't know, it'll definitely be me up until Christmas anyway, so you won't need to put up with any more weekly blogs getting put on. Might get out and do a bit of practice at Borson's during the day, so we might do some blogs on that for up and coming competitions and internationals we've got there. Got a new bait to try out on there, which I believe is the best one, or one of the best ones anyway. So yeah, so we're in roadworks at the minute on the M40. Heading down, set base camp up, and then away we go, and we'll be back at night time. Hopefully nick a bite tonight. From what I can gather, it's been fishing pretty hard all weekend, not many out again, but the weather's kind of stabilised a bit now. It's very cold, well, not very cold, but cold. Obviously we've got high pressures, northeasterlies swinging round to northwesterly later on in the week. But yeah, so I've no doubt it's going to be hard, but hopefully we can winkle one out at least. Okay guys and girls, I will see you later. on the first evening, back on Blankers at Farlows, as you would have gathered. Took a bit of a gamble on Thursday when I left. Took advantage of the winter ticket, 72 hours for £50 at the minute. Not to be sniffed at, being a northerner. So I decided to pay the £50 and keep my peg for the 72 hours that I wasn't here. And then when I got down here, paid another £50 for another 72 hours. My reasoning: Blankers, peg 1, not peg 2, as previously stated in the last blog, which was nicely put to me by Eggy today when I got down here. So thanks for that, Eggy. My thinking: in Blankers, nobody can get into your water. So I put a fair chunk of bait out, and my thinking was that basically, see these fucking coots do my nothing. Where was I? That's right, aye. So my thinking was nobody could get into the water. Put a fair chunk of bait out. There's going to be no lines in the water for 3 days, 72 hours. Perhaps, yeah, 72 hours. So it would give them a free feed. So we'll see whether that pays dividend or not. Oh, there's that air again. So yeah. So we'll see if that pays. I've changed the spots, well, one spot a little bit. I've got one in the hole where I had the fish from on Wednesday night of last week. I've got one in the gap between the left-hand island, and then I've got one under the willow. For those, when you come down here, if you go to the hole that I showed you on the previous blog, it's 12.5 wraps. Okay. If you go to the gap, to the willow tree, that's 10 3/4 wraps, and the willow tree is 10 wraps. So we've got all the rods out. Got them probably out about, I don't know, 3:30, 4:45. Settling down. Had a huge drop back off the rod that was underneath the willow. Struck into it. I'm like, that feels like a bream. Bringing it in. It was a bloody tufty. So after a brief scrap with that, managed to get him off, and away he went. Obviously that was the hook. Oh, done. Now the only thing I don't feel about this part of the lake is that if you have a fish at night time, you can't really get the rods back out again. So I'm down to 2 rods now because of a fucking bird. So I'm a little bit annoyed because it was bang on the money. It went down with a huge donk. So yeah, I'm really not feeling the peg, even though I've invested quite a bit of bait into it. I've got another 10 kilo of essential cell down with me, because these fish have to kick off at some point. Eggy showed me a bit of video footage that they've got, and when they put it up, you'll be amazed. I was amazed. In fact, I couldn't even believe it, what they'll see. I'm going to speak to Eggy tomorrow, see when they're putting the video footage up. If it's up before this blog goes up, then I'll tell you about it. If it's not, then obviously I'll leave it for Farlows to put up, and I'll tell you about it on the next blog. So yeah, so I'm not really feeling this peg at the minute, to be truthful with you. So, decisions. See how tonight goes, I think, and I'll probably see how tomorrow night goes. But nothing come Wednesday morning, I'll make the decision to pack up and move, and probably try and bivvy up on Lake 3. No, to probably move down the shallower water, because I think there's a lot of fish down there. 2 fish came off over the weekend. 3 fish, sorry. Spotty had 1 off the front next to me, peg 2, and I don't know where the other 2 came off. but it's pants at the minute, total pants. But I still believe that these fish have to eat. They have to eat. Now December's usually a very hard month on this lake, but speaking to Eggy today, he thinks that December is possibly going to be an exceptional month because these fish have not fed yet, and as we all know, they've got to eat before the winter sets in. I need to get my Botox sorted out on my left eyebrow. Is that my left eye? No. So they've got to eat. But like I say, I'm full of life, full of optimism, because of what happened on Saturday night. To the H, to the O, to the N, to the E, to the Y. I say honey, you say bye bye. So yeah, so very happy about that. And yeah, happy face. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I was going to talk to you about my setup today, but I totally forgot. Too busy doing scenic shots on the video and trying to get a bit of this and a bit of that. So basically I've got my match set up. You can't see it. I've got the Sonic S3 rods, 3.25. Great bit of kit for match fishing. They do get thrown about a bit. I've got attached to them, I've got the Shimano XTD 1400s. Spoke about them already. Cracking reel. Converted them to quick drag. Hope if you've got those reels you've done that, because it's a great upgrade to them. And you'll wonder why you hadn't done it beforehand. And on that I've changed my line. I used to have the Synchro XT, but speaking to my mate Dino, he put me on to the Fox Exocet line. Now I've got £16 on. I used to use £15 on the ESP, and the diameter of it, I'm pretty sure, is about 0.33. Hold on, with the wonders of nature, let me Google this. Let me see. Stick with me. Stick with me. Oh fuck. There we go. Here we go. So let's have a look at this, just so I can give you the exact details. So, on my Space Rules spools, I've got the £10 one. Obviously that's a casting one. 0.26 diameter. 0.26. That's braid material. And on my day-to-day ones, I've got £16, 0.33 diameter. That's thin. It's strong. It casts like anything, and it sinks like anything as well. And on them I've got attached probably a half a metre length of tubing, quarter lead clip with a 3-ounce lead, and attached to that is the Rigget Tackle Skin Tech in £25 brown. Figure of 8 hoop link at the end, and my usual Ronnie rig, which obviously I would imagine that you've seen my blog on. As I've said before, great rig. Catches everywhere I go, and it does everything I want to do. I'm going to start trying a few different things. I really fancy trying the German rig actually, or as Gordon would say, the turboed German rig. But yeah. So anyway, I had a good weekend with the kids. Wife was away up Glasgow, flew up, dropped her off on Friday. Had the wee babby, little princess, and obviously the 2 boys. Lukey, the eldest one, he had his school disco on Friday night, so doing his hair up, he wanted daddy's aftershave on. 7 years of age, man, what's that all about? So he's actually going to be starting doing video blogs. He's right into Minecraft at the minute. So I've set him up a YouTube channel called Lukey the Gamer, and got him a camcorder,
and after Christmas, New Year, we're going to set him up so that he can do a few blogs as well. So he's obviously practicing at the minute, and yeah, hopefully he'll do well at it. It'll keep him out of trouble, and it's something that he enjoys as well. But carp fishing front, what have you got anything new to show you? Not really, nothing new. Sold one of my bevies, and I purchased the Sonic XTI, which I am sitting in now. Albeit the footprint isn't as big as a Tempest, internally the space is bigger than my Tempest. I've got the V1, not the V2. I didn't see any point in changing it just because of the black poles. Maybe a change of material, I don't know, but I don't have any problems with it. So in this you've got like you've got a second skin down the back there. Can you see it moving in the background? Yeah. It's got a zip-in ground sheet, which I think is very good. Once you get the actual it up for the first time, it's quite complicated. Well, not complicated, probably because I'm a bit thick. But once you get the first put up of it, then yeah, it's really good. I'll give you a wee show of it, just to show you how big it is. Got my thermal cover on top of my compact. I changed from the summer bag to the 3-season winter bag, and then I've got a thermal cover over the top of it. It's roasting brilliant, especially now the weather's getting a bit colder. And yeah, going back to the bivvy, it's got a zip out front panel as well, so you can use it as a brolly or you can enclose it. The only thing I don't like about it is that there's no vented windows either side, so when you're in it and it's daytime, it's a bit back cavey, it's quite dark. I like to have, you know, the vented side so that you can see out, but for the money it's absolutely fabulous. I believe it's the same kind of material as the Tracker V2 Aquatex, dries out very, very quickly. So yeah, very, very impressed with it, and I think it's something that I'll be using quite a lot, to be fair. So yeah, so we've got another 10 kilo of essential cell blood down. Got my bait delivery on Thursday there. So I've got a match coming up for Boston, so got my delivery for that. Albeit there's only 2 anglers in it at the minute, so I don't know whether that actually it'll be a match. I don't know whether it'll be a turn up, sign in, that's you qualified, but we'll see. So that's on the 8th of December. It's the UK Corp Cup, and it's like a 24-hour match, so it's like you turn up 9 o'clock Saturday morning, finishes 9 o'clock Sunday morning. So, oh, big box we was. So yeah. So there's nothing else really to go on, apart from the catch of the tufty, which I let go humanely. But yeah, we shall see how it goes. So I'm up early in the morning, I've got to go down to Fareham tomorrow, so it's a good 2-hour drive from where I am. So I'll be up and away for 7 o'clock when the gates open, so that I can get back for 6 before the gates shut. And hopefully we'll have something during the night. If not, so be it. Got to be in it to win it, I suppose. So yeah, so that's about it. So I hope you all have a good night's sleep, and I'll see you later. Cheers then, bye. Alright everyone, back at the peg after being at work today, down in Portsmouth. So down that dreaded, crappy M25 this morning. So we're back here, got the 3 rods back out again. 2 on 2 of the spots, and I've changed one. There's nobody fishing in front of me. Sorry, to the right of me. So what I've cast through. It's safe angling still because it's quite a big vast bit of water. I've not gone too far. And what I've done is I've put a 7-foot zig on, a bit of black foam, just to do something a bit different because they're obviously not doing anything on the bottom. Don't want to risk putting a rod under that willow again tonight, just in case I get another tufty, because there's still quite a few about. But it's fucking freezing already. I think the weather forecast to go down to -4 tonight. It was obviously, it was frosty this morning, so I think it's going to be even frostier tonight, throughout the morning. So it's going to be a cold night. Hopefully the hole will get me a fish again. If not, I think when I come back tomorrow I'm going to move. And I'm going to chance it, and I'm going to go down the shallower end of the lake. It's an upheaval, but anyway, I'll show you something. Just come out after the show. Ridge Monkey bait pots, quality bit of kit, well thought out, everything. If you don't want to use these to put your pots in, what I was thinking was you could actually put your spare spools in them. Nice protective bit for them. What I like about them is obviously they all stack together, so you can take each compartment away. You get 4 in a pack. I think they're £13 the RRP. Unscrew the lid. There's your lid there, and you've actually got a gasket on it. Now the thing that does man nutting about pop-up tubs is when you glug them, which I like to do. They go everywhere, but that little gasket will stop that. You've got a lovely little basket there as well, which means once you have glugged them, what my thinking is that you can actually take these out and you can hang them up, and you can obviously air dry your baits and then glug them again and keep on doing the process. So obviously it's a stacker system, so the lid comes off the top one, and then the lid for the second one is incorporated to the first one, so on and so on. Come in green and black. I've gone for the green, and like I say, I like to glug all my pop-ups and my wafters, so they'll come in handy for me. Like I say, if you don't want to use the kind of outer casing bag, I'm pretty sure they'll take most spare spools. So 2 things for the price of 1 there. Oh my god. So it's 4:30 now, and I mean I'm not kidding when I tell you it's really cold. I'm from Scotland and I'm finding this cold, but got long johns on, everything like that, so hopefully we should be okay. Nothing's been out today apart from, I think there was a guy fishing on peg 4, Critchfield, and I think he had something like 15 pike. So there's a lot of pike activity going on, obviously around here. You can see in front of me now there's a lot of fry in the water, just topping. So I've no doubt the pike will follow them through here, not unless they've had enough. So last night I think was the first real big frost, and a good frost. And I think it's to continue like that for the rest of the week. So what I'm thinking is that once it carries on, probably nothing will happen tonight, tomorrow night and this week. But I think once the fish get used to the conditions, in the big drop in water temperature, it might entice them to go onto a feed. Like I've already said to you, I'm a bit paranoid about going somewhere else and then it kicking off here and everything's been done, but yeah, we live in hope. You never know. I think it's going to be like pulling 1 or 2 fish out. So yeah, so that's where we're at. Nothing else really to report on anything. So hopefully what I'll do is if I get a fish during the night, obviously you'll see that in the next vlog. If not, you'll see me tomorrow night, where we might have moved. Okay. Catch you. Hi all, back again for an update. Fuck it, better go again with that. Back from work, managed to get the rods out, changed 2 of the spots yet again. I've gone, one of the rods I've put in the first hole in the island on the left. Like I said before, it's not been very prominent, but because people aren't fishing it, I've got nothing to lose because there's naff all else happening. So I've got that one there, I've got the other one in the second hole as normal, and then the third one I've got in the channel between the 2 islands. There's a nice little gravel bore there at about 13 wraps, 12 wraps, something like that. Yeah, so there's not a lot happening at all around the lake. I know where I'd like to be, I know where I need to be, but the problem is that I work. If I was social fishing, I'd be in the pads, or I'd be down on M25 bank. Reedy bait, diamonds, channel there, end of the arm fishing to the back of you, all that kind of area there. I think if I don't catch anything tonight, I'm going to set my alarm. Oh, Jesus Christ, even this juice is icing up. And I'm going to get up early, I'm going to pack up, I'm going to throw everything in the back of the van, I'm going to go round, I'm going to put my bivvy up, go to work, and then back I come. And see if that works. As you've probably seen from my super icy snaps, depending on whether I've done the blog right and I've put them on before that. If you don't see them now, then you know what's coming on the next section. It was -6 last night. Now usually when I lived up in Scotland I would still be wearing shorts, but moving south has changed me. It's turned me into a right nance. I've got thermal tops on, I've got thermal long johns on, I've got thermal socks, I've got a winter bag, I've got the thermal cover over the top of it. Yeah, so I've now turned into a bit of a ponce. But I'm out, I'm on the bank, but I can't decide what to do next week. Last week's going to be my last week. You'll probably be thankful of that, because then there'll be no more blogs for a while. And I can't decide whether to come to here or whether to go to Waterside. It's a tough decision. It doesn't really matter because it doesn't affect my travel in any way. I just don't know. I think if this frost continues for the rest of the week at night time, I think this may stabilise the fish a little bit once they've got used to it and acclimatised to it, and then I think they might go on the munch. That's my opinion. Probably won't happen because I know he will. I've got Rob Green next to me, Brad's brother. He's on the front whacking out bags. I've got the stove on. I actually had the intention of coming here tonight and moving when I got back. I wanted to go on peg 1 on Lake 2. Somebody was on there. And then I was like, right, okay, I'll go to the front so I can go long distance out in the middle. a few zigs on, and obviously Robert just gone in there, so I put paid to those ideas on my way back. So we've settled down here again, and like I say, we've gone into those 2 holes. The one in the first hole it went in and it went right under the island, because there's about another 3 foot where the bush is, and then if you walk it in, Ian Russell showed me a wee trick that when you cast into an island like that, because all the islands around Farlows, they kind of go back in front of Shire House, and that the islands, where the island is and where the bush is, they kind of go in another 2 or 3 foot, and the fish like to get right under there. So what Ian showed me when I was talking to him down here was that if you ram it in, and then just as it's hitting the water in the clip, once it's hit the water, if you walk forward with the rod, that'll actually drive that lead right under there. So that's what I've been doing over here, and obviously I've got 1 fish from last week. What can I talk about? Seems as though there's no fish. The Delcom alarms. Another thing that Mr. Russell spoke to me about. I always used to have my Delcoms on the high pitch, screaming Delcom noise. And obviously whenever one went off, you used to throw everything everywhere and run out and grab your rod and all that. So I spoke to him because I noticed that Tom Dove, on some of the corded videos and shows, and also Ian, had it on the little froggy noise. Shall I show you the noise? I'll show you later. So I asked Ian what was that about, and he said, well, the brain, and I bore everybody with this down here, when a brain hears a high-pitched noise, it kind of goes into panic and all that sort of stuff. That's the reason why you have the police sirens like that. But if you notice now, the police sirens have changed to the kind of not so high pitched, the lower dully noises. And he says what that does is it doesn't incite panic. It acknowledges you that there's something there, but it doesn't incite panic in your brain. And you know, ever since I've done them on my alarms, when I get a run, I casually just walk to my alarms. In fact, it's that casual now. I was on the phone with that fish that I caught last week. I was on the phone at the time with my daughter. I stayed on the phone when I got the take. I walked out, put the phone on my shoulder like that. I'll show you. Like that. And I played the fishing. Whereas usually the phone would have got thrown to smithereens, blah blah blah. Try it if you've got Delcoms and see what you think. So that's about it. So hopefully I'll come back to you. If not, I'll speak to you later. Just thought I'd run you through my setup which I use down here at Farlows. Give me a lot of success. Obviously a few of the components change depending on what swims I'm fishing and over what bottoms, sorry. So basically what I've got is a length of dark matter tubing which goes on to my hybrid leg clip, which is tied on straight to the line. The swivel is moulded into the leg clip, and that obviously tail rubber which is pushed on. There's a slightly Obviously important thing, salivate it just before you push it on. To that then I've got a quick change link and a small bit of silicone tubing over the top of it, and then down to the rig components we have the coated braid, which is then tied on with a 5-turn grinner. Getting rid of all the weed that's on it, just brought it in onto the Ronnie rig, and obviously the little pop up on the end. And that's what I use down here at Farlows. Obviously that will change depending on what I'm fishing over, but that's what I use. Alrighty, cheers then. Alright everyone, it's Friday morning. This will be the last vlog of this week. Nothing to report, no fish to show, nothing. Like I said, we moved late last night when I got back from work. Thought the effort would equal a bit of reward, as there was fish down here, but nothing. I changed over onto zigs on one of the rods just to see if that would entice anything, but no. So we're packing up now. We'll be back down next week. Next week will be my last week. It's getting a bit too cold now. Having said that, it's to mild up next week. Towards the tail end, southwesterly coming in, southeasterly at the beginning of the week, and then to change to southwesterly and the temperatures rise up. So whether that'll entice them to go into a feed, I don't know. I think next week, I think the importance of getting in the right peg is going to be even more important next week. So we'll see if we make the right choice and the right decision. I didn't make the right decision this week, and I know I didn't, but that's a lesson learned. What have I learned? Don't be bloody lazy. Like I say, I fed a swim, paid for the swim while I wasn't here, but there's not been a fish off the lake all week, which tells its own story. I don't know also whether everybody's fishing on bottoms. Fish aren't coming from bottoms, so you know, in the open water, maybe a policy to go for the zigs. I was going to come down with a plan and all that for next week, but I think I'm just going to wait until next week to see what the lake does over the weekend. Maybe even go on to Lake 2. There was 50 fish put in there last week. Not been many fish out of there either this week, and them fish are going to be starving. Obviously fish farmed, reared, so they'll be used to having food put in for them, not used to fending for themselves. So I think a possible ploy is on there, if this hasn't done anything for the first few days, and see if we can get something off Lake 2. I don't know. But that's the way it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? Can't always win it. First blank for a while. So I haven't done too bad really, so I can't really complain. Yeah. So thanks for watching again. Sorry I haven't caught anything, but hopefully next week we can get into a few fish again. Okay, if you're out this weekend, best of luck, tight lines, hopefully see you on the bank sometime. Cheers everyone. Ta.